Welcome to today's collective reading. This is TrinityGaiaOracle. This is definitely a reading that's connected to the previous reading. However, this goes a little deeper into the dynamic of the soulmate connection that was highlighted. And what was specifically brought out was an expansion upon a moment that was kind of channeled through about how one side of the connection is kind of focusing more in one area, and the other side is focusing on the opposite. So one side is like healing more of the physical 3D aspect and working towards connecting and aligning with the other side in that aspect of experience. And the other side is healing more of like the third eye, crown, intuitive, telepathic connection of the bond between you two that transcends space, time, distance. The healing of that is more focused with the other side of the connection. So the two of you are moving in this way. And I mean, you're both receptive, you both want this. You're both divinely guided to this. It's contracted. That's another thing that comes with High Priestess. You're both contracted for this. But you both are guarded. You're both protecting your heart like you just came out of a battle and you're clinging to that shield. It got you through a lot. However, third eye is just lit up and you have the three spheres above you. You are definitely divinely guided, tapped in, but there is this protectiveness. So here I am. This is something that was very clear that could help a lot of individuals. So let's see what they want us to know, what they want to come through for you guys, what they want to expand upon in this particular facet. And that would make sense. You know, you have a masculine that is typically more, physical world based, and the feminine that is more, ethereal, higher level energy. Now, this is energetic. Please don't limit the feminine to being a woman or a man. It could be any or either. It's not about labels. It's not about gender. It's about energy. I feel like an anxious energy, an excited, anxious energy for this to come out. The Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, it's tipping. There is definitely momentum with how it came out. So this is your fortunes are turning. This is the beginning of your realization that things are different. That really anchoring into the physical with how these spheres are getting larger and larger and larger and landing inside the center of reality here. Also, inner earth could be a synchronicity. Interesting. Agartha. Okay. This card is speaking to how you're not necessarily coming down upon a truth, but the truth is coming down on you, or you're actively moving towards it, and now it's upright. You know it. You wield it. The sword of Archangel Michael. You are protected. This is protected. The giving of two cups to mingle, to mix, to balance, to align. There is this mixing as the energetic masculine, feminine energy within you, your receptive, assertive energy within you came into balance these cups were able to give to one another, to be able to create that balance. It's definitely a partnership soul connection here. Judgment. Ooh. As this is happening, judgment is also in play. As this alignment comes in, judgment is coming down, and the ripple effects are being felt all around both of you. And because I see both light and shadow aspects, you have allies both in, the heavens and the underworld that are bringing about this balance. In this judgment, they could have definitely pulled upon energies that are also seeking judgment because they created an imbalance. Like they promised something that they couldn't deliver. Because this is divinely guided. This is protected. Archangel Michael's sword is present here. Divine intervention. And that's why there's the imbalance. So any energies that judgment has been, passed upon, they're not just dealing with judgment of the heavens or of the divine judgment. They're also dealing with, like they took loans out. Like they planned on things happening and they gambled. And they lost. They thought they were more powerful than divine. Like they didn't believe in the divine. Boy, they're learning. They're learning, that's for sure. Wow. Getting like endings, like death energy. Like they didn't have the energy to be doing what they were doing. Like one of the pale riders, like one of the horses, the horsemen, kind of a feel. It doesn't feel like full, like horseman, but it feels like of the rank of Reaper energy, really. Like that's needed to come into play to maintain balance because they're so overdrawn, to make sure things are handled properly. It's almost a protective energy. And it's not so much about them, it's about just the balance in the universe. And 5 of Spears. Ooh, it's not inverted anymore, guys. Ooh, look at that. It's like right at that tipping point here, too, with the Wheel of Fortune here. Yep. So that you're definitely coming out of this space. And that's because you're manifesting this with the Ace of Wands and the upright and the Tower and the inverted. You have this wand, and as you have become aware of this wand, your ability to create the magician energy, the receptivity, the Tower is hitting in ways that are unexpected, which is by design. When the divine crafts endings and new beginnings, to the extent that there is such a huge ripple effect out from both of you, every life you touch, every contract you have made before you came here, every time you updated anything that has anything to do with anything you will do in your life, it is being affected by this. So this tower that is being manifested and co-created, like the enemy, oh my gosh, the opposing forces that would desire to believe somehow that they're more powerful than the creator. I kind of giggle at it because it's like, You were created. You could be uncreated. What are you doing? Like, this is an intelligence that's so far beyond us. It's almost like an affectionate, like, oh, you thought, huh? So it's like even this being has love for this, I feel like, immaturity and like a soul aspect. Like, there's young souls here that just kind of got wrapped up in things they didn't understand. So this playing field, it's not to just be like doom and gloom and, you know, fire and brimstone. Like, there's a lot of love in the change that's coming in these ripple effects. There's a lot of souls that are learning a lot about divine love, divine power, divine will. And it's because the two of you are going through this process. This connection is definitely a divine connection. There's no question about that. Okay, I'm gonna clear this here, because we're moving into something newer here. I kind of want to keep those out though. I'll mix these back in. That was like that. Okay. This connection is definitely a divinely blessed, like, orchestrated part of the divine's plan. Very powerful. Very, very powerful connection with the amount of ripple effects out from you guys. The tower is not necessarily a bad thing. And that's really what was kind of being highlighted. When the two of you come into full alignment, when you're resisting whatever it is that needs a little bit of healing when it comes to, you know, how you feel about actually being in one another's lives in the physical reality. Like, maybe you feel a little insecure. They feel a little insecure about something about their form or their appearance, or maybe there's some family dynamics or friendship relationship dynamics that they're not really happy with, but if they're not happy with it, they know you're not going to be happy with it. So it's just like shifting a little bit of that, like being open to at least creating dialogue about it, to remove the fear, to remove the unknown. Now, with the whole, well, no, that devil energy wanted to come out. Nope. With the intuitive aspect, I mean, telepathic communication, if it's your first time experiencing it, can be quite unnerving. It could be beautiful and just amazing if it's your first time, and especially if you know you're actually connecting with someone because they're like, yeah, hey, did you get that? But with what you've been through, if you're on the side that's trying to heal that, maybe it's not been the greatest experience. So you're feeling protective with this shield energy. You're like, oh, when this has happened before, you know, for quite some time here, it hasn't been a good thing. I'm a little like, I don't know about this. This being willing to move beyond assuming that because you're being connected with telepathically, that it's automatically a bad thing. Almost like a trauma nerve response, right? Which is yet another synchronicity with the previous reading. Taking some time to allow your nervous system to reorient into the parasympathetic state, to really assess whether or not you're being reactive or if you're choosing to respond. When it comes to telepathy, you're not just getting what someone thinks. You're capable of getting what they feel. Now, some people, they're old hats at it. They're very good with shielding, and all you get is exactly what they want you to hear, like a phone call. But maybe you need more than that to actually validate that they're being authentic. So, one side of this was very novice with this. So, if there is a cross watcher, or you yourself identify as the one that's far more comfortable with the telepathic side of things, your counterpart feels like it's a completely different world and it's not been a good experience possibly. So maybe you need to be a little more open to being vulnerable to help them know what you're feeling and give them very clear verbal, if you will, verbally sent messages. I mean, it's going to be different for each and every one of you, but there's some kind of an imbalance there, and it's now between the two of you to find a way to become more comfortable with these last pieces. And how awesome is it to finally be there? Okay, finally I'm given the direction to move into these cards here. So this is what is known. That there is this passionate, feminine, desired energy, but there's a bit of a disillusion with this. This is what you know you are and what you are capable of being, but you're not sure if it's really what you want or if you are capable of embodying right now with the amount of confidence that you desire. Like you flaunt it almost as how others would perceive it, but for you it's just your natural state of being. So there's a sense of when you're in your power, it's not something that has been experienced as a good thing. Like people feel intimidated and insecure, and they then project those insecurities on you, kind of a deal. So you allow that, like, this part of you to become dormant just because you don't want to deal with that. You feel like, wow, you feel like you have to protect yourself by not sharing this part of yourself. Because when you do, bad things happen to you. People are mean, they're cruel, they're nasty. Wow, it's like the brighter you shine, the more darkness is attracted to you. And you want to have another brightness to interact with, to attract more bright lights to you, not just darkness. It's the desire to not be alone in being this bright light, like a safety in numbers almost. Like, what's the point of shining so incredibly brightly if there's not another energy to interact with that's like you? Oh, this is hurtful. There's pain here that is stopping you both. You both feel very different. Okay, so this is what's not necessarily seen. And this one was on its side. So it's the Eight of Spheres, the juggling. The question is, where is this going? Where? The need to know, to control, to soothe yourself through knowledge. Okay. And then we have the Hanged Man in the reverse and the Page of Wands in the reverse. The Hanged Man is like the higher self has come down into the physicality and is helping with this. That's why this is in transition. That's why you're here. Yet again, a validation that this is divinely guided. The Hanged Man doesn't come down unless what is needed to signal that it is time has been displayed, has been shown, that a certain benchmark has been met by both sides of this dynamic, and that has been met. And it is why things are moving closer into alignment. But are you creating? This is a question for you from your higher selves, divine source, love. It is a being or an aspect of yourself within yourself. That divine spark within you is asking you to evaluate whether or not you're creating from love to experience more love, or if you're creating from love to protect yourself from being vulnerable and loved. Are you defensively creating? or are you assertively creating? Love is always present there. Always. Always passion is needed with this. There needs to be like a lighter energy brought into this space. The solution here is to create some fun, some playfulness, some lightheartedness. So maybe you don't know where things are going, and maybe you don't feel confident that this other person's light will shine just as bright as yours, or if they're capable of dealing with the darkness that your light attracts. The whole like moth to a flame thing, like the concept is that there are beings that are going to be fascinated simply because of how brightly you shine. And looking at yourself and looking at them, are you capable of dancing with one another? It's not, are you my equal? It's not, are you going to give me what I need? And there is no compromise within me. There's no understanding or compassion to even try to understand your perspective. It's not that at all. Are you capable of dancing with them? Because you're going to have someone in this connection that can shine just as bright as you and cope with the darkness that you attract when you shine brightly. You have so much to learn from one another because you are coming at it from a predominant energetic perspective of opposites. Yes, you are balanced within the assertive and the receptive, the masculine and the feminine within yourself, but you are predominantly going to be in one or the other. So you're providing a completely different perspective on the same experience, challenging one another's assumptions to open and expand your consciousness, your perception. That requires flexibility. That requires the playfulness will begin to disarm the need to defend oneself. So this has to be given to in movements in the telepathic as well as the physical. And then you will begin with the playfulness. What I'm hearing is, don't take yourself so seriously. Oh my gosh. So sassy. Oh, because sometimes it's so hard. Oh my gosh. And to just hear that in that moment where you're just like, I'm so uptight and frustrated and overwhelmed with my emotions and their emotions, and I don't even understand, and I'm not getting any like actual clarity on what is going on to be able to organize this with this need to know, like, what is this? So one side's working towards providing the grounding that the other side needs, and the other side is feeling the need for that grounding so that they can fly knowing that the ground is there. And when they fly, the other is like, yeah, I can anchor you because I recognize you. All right, do we have any other guidance for these guys before I bring this reading to a close here? Anything else you would like this collective to know? The Ace of Spears. So typically, it's the Ace of Pentacles. There is an offering of equal give and take. Clearly hearing, don't question whether or not this is right. You are exactly where you are meant to be. This is the energy that you are meant to be interacting with. Everything about your life, every decision you made. Ace of Swords. Truth. Protected, guarded, guided. I mean, this is Archangel Michael's sword of truth. This was always meant for the two of you, so you've reached for this. You've been working for this your whole lives. Every decision you made to elevate your energy, to be able to break through that fourth wall and look back into the eyes, the intelligence of Source, and Source recognize itself, and you recognize Source within you. It's all been coming to this. This is like the cosmic egg, okay? This was always meant for you. You are exactly where you are meant to be here. Try to savor it. Try to have fun with it. I mean, I'm not going to say you're not going to get angry or hurt or sad or feel passionate. You may have some negative emotional experiences because you're healing one another. You got to trigger one another to do that. But you've got someone that can do that with you and still desire to be there for you, to support you, to connect and love you. And what a blessing that you're here, that you're both here. You've both shown up for one another. You get to be more of who you both are as a result of coming into this. Like, you get to experience more of what it is to be yourselves. Simply because you are going to be so completely connected with another being, another consciousness. It's like you're so completely loved and validated in your individual, authentic self that you own that part of yourself and celebrate it more openly. You don't just kind of keep it to yourself. It's part of why the ripples are so vast and what came through in the previous reading. Alright, I'm kind of feeling like this is going to be the end here. Yeah, okay, there we go. You get to put down this need to fight, to defend. You are no longer in 9 of Wands energy. You have no burden anymore. The burden is only there because you're not certain that it isn't. And with this 6 of Wands, this is like Mr. Universe flexing here. Yeah. You got this. You got this. You get to flex. Flex. You're like, yeah. I get like very like strength. Oh my goodness. Cracking myself up over here. Yeah. Alright. Well, that will be the end of the reading here. Yeah, we have the Death card and the King of Swords here. Trust yourself. This is a new beginning. What is not meant to be is not meant to be. This is very muchly meant to be. There's no question of that. And with the King of Swords, it's like, you know, you're balanced between your heart and your mind. You value both. You don't just make decisions and move from one. One doesn't always trump the other. And that's, yet again, a mirror. One side of this connection, unhealed, made decisions from the emotion, the heart, always, and overruled the mind, always. The other side always made decisions from the mind, overruling the heart. And that's balanced right now, to a point where the two of you can begin to do this part of the healing together. And take this Queen of Wands, this brilliant light being that you are, when you own yourself. Let yourself shine upright, bringing this out in one another. Because you know you can with them. With them, they can handle your light and your dark. And that extends to the dark, that when you are in your light is attracted to, they can handle that too. And that requires you guys to be moving closer into connection with one another in order to actually make that a more seamless, smooth process. So I'm excited for you guys. Yeah, like flex, do some flex. It's awesome. All right, well, thank you very much. I'm incredibly grateful to each and every one of you who tune in, who like, who share, who comment, who subscribe. The work that you guys are doing on yourselves is an inspiration, and it has a huge impact. A huge impact. We're all connected, each and every one of us. And we're all unique, and we may feel like we're fully in hermit mode, but every single time you heal and you adjust and you realize something, there's a ripple effect out from you, and others get to free themselves a little bit more because you have freed yourself a little bit more. So the divine, the love within me honors the divine, the love within you. Namaste.